So we're back. Carl Nassib, NFL player, the first openly gay, active NFL player. He came out during Pride Month because he believed it is important for representation purposes for him to live out loud. Thoughts?
Can you name? I mean, is there another NFL player you can name that's come out?
So there was Michael Sam.
So like one other player out of hundreds.
There was Michael Sam, right?
I mean, underrepresented by like.
But Michael Sam wasn't really an active player. He got drafted. He was a gay man who got drafted.
Yeah.
But he didn't really play. He wasn't really an active player.
So he was like the Rudy of basically just kind of like he was a bench player or whatever, or like
not even like a bench player. Like he like got drafted, but I think he eventually got cut and never really.
But he came out, but it was low risk.
He was already out when he got drafted. He was out.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So like when
just totally underrepresented. So if you're thinking
right,
like the average, like I think it's like 10% of the population might like I mean it's probably so low. It's like 1% out of.
Oh, well, who are you guys talking about? Because the only openly gay NBA player I have is Jason Paul Collins.
No, NFL.
Oh, NFL.
NFL. So NFL.
No, I just think that it's severely underrepresented. I think it's super important they did that. It's great.
Yeah.
Like super, like big prop. Like that's awesome.
I agree.
Oh, apparently there's 28 football players who came out of the closet. So
were they active? That's the difference.
Yeah, so it's a little different. I mean, deal with the locker
there
room.
There are retired players that have come out. There are players that like Michael Sam that got drafted, but they weren't really active players. So what makes this so significant is he is an active player. Yeah. With a real contract, real stats, he's an
with
actual
real fans,
player.
a real locker room to deal with, all
Bingo.
Those things.
What you got?
There's only been one player in the NFL.
Yes. Yeah. What's his name?
Carl Nassib.
So this is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about Carl Nassib. Nassib.
Nassib. Yeah.
Nassib. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. But
I think it's great.
In my opinion,
somebody can be gay. It's like it can be manly, like wreck shit, and be manly as fuck.
Right.
Like why can't you be masculine and fucking destroy shit and be gay?
Bingo.
Like, come on.
I think that the assumption that people make about gay dudes is that they're like weak and or effeminate and or girls.
Yeah, not a man or something.
Not a man, something other than a man. And the idea that there can be someone in the NFL, which is hard as fuck.
Tough sport.
Yeah, it's like you're going to war. Like it's like little battles.
Yeah. Little car crashes all the time.
Just
The fact that you could do that and be a gay dude, I think will do wonders in teaching people to not be so bigoted towards gay people. And I think that the importance of this is the importance of representation. Little kids who don't see people like them don't necessarily realize that the things that they want or the person that they are is normal,
valid,
possible, or valid.
And shouldn't be marginalized.
Facts.
It's easier to marginalize when you don't see it.
Yeah. You
know?
Yes, totally. And I think this is a huge deal. And I I applaud this man for coming out in such a public way. And the way that he came out, he said, you know, I'm a private person. I don't even like the spotlight like that, but I'm out here because representation is important, and I'm a gay man. I wonder what the long-term impact of that will be. And when I was in school, I played sports. I had gay teammates. Everybody knew that they were gay.
I don't think the average person that you think the average person he's gonna play with, they're gonna like.
I think the average person doesn't care.
Like whatever.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I played sports in school. I had gay teammates. Everybody knew they were gay, and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
They're a team, family, right?
Or how good are you? That's what people cared about. Are you good? Are you good at your position? And I think that is. I would like to believe that is true. But I also am acutely aware of the fact that people are closeted for a reason. And I wonder when we will get to a point in our society when people don't feel a need to be closeted. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it because people are religious? Is it because people are ashamed? Is it because people feel as though they won't be accepted by their friends or by their peers? I don't know why people would feel like they have to be closeted.
I think it's an acceptance thing. Yeah, that last
acceptance.
I think it's now so different because I grew up in a place where you didn't talk about that kind of stuff. It was definitely not as accepted, and that was 15 years ago, 17 years ago. Well, probably like 20 years ago, whenever it was more of a thing amongst like middle schoolers, just being like, Now I'd see I'd hope that it would be an accepted thing. We're just not like.
I think it's different places though. I'm like really conservative.
We're hanging out in Austin, Texas. So I don't know.
It's easy to say
not to
here,
generalize on some shit, but I think in general, people have family members that are that way, and they don't really want to see them get beat up or fucked with or whatever. And they want to see them have a good life, and it's not,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know why, but I would like to believe that people aren't really persecuted for being gay anymore, or for being anything other than the quote fingers norm. So by quote fingers norm, I mean hetero,
cis,
and cis. And so many people every day cast aside their comfort for the comfort of others. And I would like to believe that they don't have to do that. But apparently they do. And it's so odd to me / disturbing / sad to me that people feel like they can't be their authentic selves because someone else might mistreat them. And
you underestimate the social aspect of it.
I think
people don't want to get socially crucified, bro. That's just what it is. Some people they and it's I think it's most likely a fear thing. It's in their head. You don't know what it'll be like unless you come out the closet, So if you never do it, you'll just always have that fear. You know how they say fear cripples you. Fear keeps you in a certain spot.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think that's most likely what it is for gay people or people
that are trans
or people. Yeah, any
More
person
so,
that
I
just
think
they
these
don't
days-
want to be socially crucified, and they they want their peace of mind, or they don't know what it'll be like. The fear of not knowing what it'll be
But
like.
at the same time, go ahead.
Well, no, I would just say like I guess I'm even more concerned for like trans community and that sort of like situations where they're more likely to get like physical or sexual abuse, more likely to fall victim to suicide and these sort of things. So it's like talking about the box, like there's a certain pressure just knowing like you live in that goddamn box. And I've had family members that had transitioned and just like what it seemed like that it would do to them mentally to deal with that. It's just like the condition, like what I don't know. So I guess I just think like the violence is for sure. And not to say that gay people like don't. I just think it's a different thing. Like maybe they're talking about being like absolutely at war with that in the 80s and stuff. Maybe this isn't the same time, but I think I don't know. I think Pride is a little bit more than just about gay. I guess I think there's
no definitely like gay isn't a catch-all net for anybody outside of the heteronormative. I get that, but I guess I'm just saddened by the idea that people feel as though they can't be themselves because they might be persecuted. And, I guess I do understand it because I realize that I don't want to drive in any town in Texas that sounds like a first name. You feel what I'm saying?
or
I don't want to drive around in Bryan
or the like
Taylor
or like Palestine, like some Middle Eastern country, like Odessa. Don't hang out with some Paris. Like where the fuck? Like what? Like no.
Like I get it. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just also like so incredibly disgusted by it, and I just wish that people could get to a point where they would stop fucking being so bigoted. Happy Pride Month, and hopefully this helps. I think it was a very brave thing to do. Particularly because of the station in life NFL player. And I hope it is a big deal. I hope people make a big deal of it. And I hope that there's a bunch of fucking gay athletes and trans athletes who feel inspired to greatness because someone else did. And that's all I got on that. Yeah?
I just think that man was brave.
Very brave.
It take a lot to do something like that.
It does. Definitely.
Yeah, I know. There's somebody about being in it that way, where like you have the Kaepernicks, the Snowdens, people that could just they didn't have to say anything, they didn't have to do anything. He probably does deal with some microaggressions and certain things, but being like, nah, fuck this, and knowing that it's about being able to see himself if he wasn't rich that way or just had to deal with that shit, I guess he's in football. He could have done some other kind of like manual labor ass job and dealt with all kinds of fucking microaggressions and bullshit because he was gay and that. But having the chance to do it, where like I don't think he's gonna get Kaepernicked necessarily that way. But like, there's just something about that kind of like hero or patriot being like. I just think I don't know, man. To me, I look at him as like I just have big.
He did do hero shit.
Yeah, that's some hero shit. You didn't have to. You could just stood there and let the trolley do whatever. But man, you fucking decided to do something.
He did not.
Even
have
if
to
it's
do
a fraction of percent, it's the people like that really make a difference.
I feel that. That's real. I get that.